I suppose coming in quite a lot is a typical day. What would be a typical day in the life of a makeup trainee, Sarah?
So you're there before everyone else, and you first things first. You turn everything on. Your job is to make sure that everything is ready and raring to go for when the designer and the artist come in. A tip that Amy actually taught me, she was like, know their coffee orders from the day. She'd already told me their coffee and tea orders before I started. So I was like, I know what you want. Get everything ready, turn everything on, make sure everything's clean and tidy. That would have been done the night before, but anything that say didn't, go and get that ready. Turning hot towels on. It sounds like such a small thing, but that's such an important job, the first job of the day. Remember that is ready to go, because you don't know what point of the day you might need to de-rig someone. It's not going to be, you can't think, oh, I'll do that at the end of the day, because it's not going to be until de-rig. It could happen at any time. And then just, get everyone's, know what's going to happen before other people do, kind of thing. Just look ahead of yourself. So be like 10 minutes ahead of what's going to happen, even more than get the call sheets ready for the day, and really just have everything. So when you get asked questions of what's happening today and where's this, you know exactly what's happening, and then be ready to help at any time. Be the pair of hands, be the extra pair of hands.
Well, it sounds, Sarah, that even though it's a kind of you're the trainee, the first person in, the youngest person, but it's an important role in what you're saying, because you've got to think for everybody in the team.
I think that's why it's so overwhelming at first. I remember the first day, I was like, I know I've got to be the first one there, but what have I got to, how am I supposed to know what to do? This is my first day. I was so confused by it, but obviously people know that it's your first day and they're going to help you and they're going to be there for you, but it's scary. It's scary, but then you kind of have to just trust in yourself and trust that you've got that far and you know what you're doing. You just don't doubt yourself. Just be like, yes, this is right. Do it. It's fine. And then after a while, that ball just goes rolling, and then you're just comfortable in it.
But I mean, as Amy said, you was all set to walk out on Emma. Brilliant, lovely film, by the way, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
But you held it, so it's to telling everyone that it's completely normal to be scared and fearful, and just trying to learn a calming breathing technique or something.
Yeah, I always compare it to driving. I think when you're at CBMA, you've got the tutors, they're telling you everything. You're like, oh yeah, I could do it. And then it's like driving. When you've got your instructor in the car, you're fine. But when you're out in the big wide world, you're like, oh, what am I doing? Absolutely. Sarah's role is a little bit different to mine. With crowd room, it's just a bit busier. And so I still go in every day going, have I got everything right? You've definitely got to be very organised. That's one top tip, that if you're not an organised person, get organised. But yeah, it is scary, and you're going to get things wrong. And I've got lots of things wrong, but equally it's a big learning curve. Every day learning curve.
Everyone can expect that. I mean, now you touched on so Amy, you're the trainee in the crowd room, and Sarah, you're a main team. Amy, tell us what again, some people wouldn't possibly know what the crowd room is, and what's the crowd room and what's your role, let's say.
So crowd room is all our essays or extras. It can range between 10 essays to 500, so we have a crowd room of artists that we have to allocate out the essays to get them ready for the day. So my day is similar to Sarah's, but on a larger scale. Sarah's, I think, is more focused on getting specific things very right. Ours is getting people through as quickly as we can, obviously the looks to be done, and we as trainees, so there's usually me and a few others, have to make sure, it's our role to make sure the artists' days are perfect. So it's their job to come in, get the essays ready and get them out, sort of thing. So we have to do tea and coffee runs, we have to make sure their stations are prepped, like Sarah said, get their breakfast for them, because obviously it's not just one actor they'll be doing, they rotate. So once they've got one in the chair, they're done, they get out, and then another one comes back in. So yeah, it's just our role to keep things rolling and smooth running, and it's nice to have Sarah, because we kind of work together sometimes to help get the call done. And then after the call, yeah, it's just tidying up and getting ready for the next day, really.
Are you the only trainee, or are there more trainees in the crowd? Because it sounds very busy.
Yeah, so some days it's manic. So we had a large day in London that was 300-400 essays, which there was 6 other trainees and a few work experience people in. So that was really, really handy, because obviously I couldn't do it on my own. So we have to hand out fitting sheets in the morning, obviously, so the makeup artists know what look they're creating. Yeah, so that was a large day, but if we say we had 10 essays in, I'd probably just do it on my own, which is fine. So yeah, it can vary.
Well, and I mean, you sort of touched upon the work experience, which is what we do at the academy. We sort of go and see work experience. That sounds, and I'm not trying to be big it up, but it sounds it's actually quite important, isn't it? Because that's their first opportunity to really see what is going on.
Yeah, definitely. And it's nice to see the first day that work experience people come in, and this must have been me. It's a wow moment of, okay, this is what it is. And I think the first day it is very, sometimes rabbit in headlights, because you don't know what to do. But equally, that's what I'm there for, that's what Sarah's there for, because we've been doing it. It's nice to show people what we're doing. So yeah, the work experience, it's just a couple of days to see the big picture, what happens step by step. But yeah, I think it's a really, really good opportunity, and I've had a lot of happy people leaving, saying that it's nice to see it and prepared for their next job if they step into a trainee role.